till now we have covered about the data warehousing concepts, all the tools that are involved in data warehousing, and like what is Hyperion, why Hyperion is like important if we compare with other data warehousing tools, what are the advantages of Hyperion compared with others, and what is an OLAP OLTP. Okay, so now I will just show you the architecture of Hyperion. Okay, Hyperion is actually like three-tier architecture, right? Okay, so it's in three-tier one. One is the client tier, the second one is the middle tier, and the third one is the database tier. This diagram will make it very clear for you. Client tier, analytic service clients. Middle tier is like TCP, IP, and database tier. Client tier will be in the front end, database tier will be the back end, and the middle tier is actually the tier which will be connecting between the client and the database. For example, I'll tell you client tier. Here you can see like SmartView, spreadsheet, admin services, Maxell. These all are things as you told. It will be there in the front end. We have to log in. We have to open it. Once we log in and open it, it connects to the database tier with the help of the middle tier. So you can see over here, right? TCP IP. It's like a sort of internet. We will be installing all the services connecting to the internet, and with the help of that we will be connecting to the database. And all, if you want to extract the data or if you want to view the data from some other source, like if you can see below here, it is like OLAP metadata catalog, RDBMS source. As you told, client tier is the front view, database tier is the back view, and middle tier is like all these things, like which will be connecting to the database tier with the client tier. Yeah, this is the entire Hyperion architecture, you can see. So there will be like front end, middle end, and back end. Back end is where all the data will be getting stored in the form of cells and blocks. You can see the structure of cubes over there in the database tier. Starting Hyperion, so these are the services that you need to be started. Once Hyperion is installed, yesterday we were discussing about the admin roles, about the developer roles. So this will be done by an admin. The Hyperion guy who will be working on Hyperion planning or application, or who will be developing the application, will not be involved with this activity. This activity will be done by the admin activity. So what I will be doing, Hyperion Foundation, Open LDAP, Hyperion Foundation Shared Services Web Application, these all are like the service analytical things. Like here in the number 3 slide, if you see analytical provider services, analytical administration services, analytical integration services, all are the mediator sort of thing which we have to start before using Hyperion. So these all we have to enable them, like they will be there in the services in the back end, correct?
Okay.
Like in the Windows there is a folder called services, right?
Yeah.
In that itself all these things will be there. So we have to go and we have to right click it and we have to start all these services. Okay. So this is the order in which we have to start. Hyperion Foundation Open LDAP, then after that Hyperion Foundation Shared Services, Hyperion SBS services. Like here 1111 is there, but whichever services we will be using, that will be mentioned over there. And Hyperion Admin Services Web Application. Basically, what analytical server will be doing? Can you tell me?
What you say?
I'm asking you, like what exactly analytical servers will be doing?
Analytical
Any
service.
idea on that? It is like analytical server is something like actually data will be stored in the server. Okay? It is just like a backend physical layer. Yeah, like database tier like is nothing like analytical server, right?
Okay.
It is something like only it will store the data in the server.
Okay.
Like I'm talking about this one, like database tier, analytical servers. Okay, now coming to what is this one? Client tier. This is called as console. Okay, one more name in Hyperion is given as console. CONSOLE.
What you call it?
Like here, if you see where I'm pointing towards,
Yeah.
administration.
Okay.
They can even see the data. They can even work. Like it is a GUI. You know what is GUI, right?
Yeah.
It's a graphical user interface from which we'll do the SBS administration works. Okay, so this one is the back end and this one is the front end.
Yeah.
And it is like it is a like graphical user interface from which we will do the SBS administration all functions. Okay, and now last is this one, middle tier. It is like called as analytical servers, and this is called as administration services. Yeah, this is called as administration services. Okay.
Okay.
Now what it will do? Now what is the need of starting the services? Actually, it is like to communicate the front end and the back end. We need some services, and these services
Okay.
are provided by the admin services. This is something like a communicator between the front end and the back end, between the client tier and between the database tier. Okay, for that, these services, when we enable them, then only we can connect with the front end and the back end. Now, life cycle is this one, like this is the life cycle of the SBase. What actually we do? We create the database, we actually build the dimensions. Now, what do you mean by creating the database? Creating a database is something like creating a new database, empty database. Okay, it's a three-tier database, right? Client, middle, and database. We have discussed about the client tier and the database tier. Client tier is the front end, database tier is the back end. Middle tier is nothing but administration services, right? Yeah. Like to communicate the front end and the back end, we need some services which need to be started, and these all things will be done taken care by the middle tier, which is even called as administration services. After that, now we will discuss about the Hyperion like project life cycle. There are like number of phases in project life cycle. Okay. Now, like for example, the phase one will be requirement gathering. Requirement gathering will be coming only with experience. The first thing, we can just tell you the points that will be useful while collecting the requirements from the user. Okay. Now, for example, I can give you a common general example. Okay. Now I'm having an organization and I want to implement some software into that. End software, like whatever comes into my organization and whatever goes out of the organization. Let it be any product, let it be even a small type of thing, let it be anything, small type of a cup of coffee. Even if the employees are having a cup of coffee, I have to pay for that, right? Outside vendor, or even anything, electricity bill or parking, or like whatever is coming out and whatever is going out, end to end. Even I have to pay the salaries of the employees. Everything I want to maintain a record in Hyperion. Okay. For that, I have to I have given that contract to ABC company. So when that ABC company will be coming to me, he doesn't know anything about my organization. So first he wants to find it out, like how many departments are there, like how many employees are there, what is the actually scope of work that your organization does, from where the money is flowing, where the money is going out, where you are maintaining your accounts. Each and everything, a small minute details he wants to understand, and he will be preparing a document out of that. And that document he will be giving it back to the organization, and he will be telling to go through the document, and if you require some modifications, please tell us so that we can modify the same in the document. And once we provide a final sign off on the particular document that has been prepared, so on the basis of that document, he will start to prepare the software, implement the software. And actually that role will be done by a business analyst. Console is something like development sort of work. Like in console, you can load the data. Business analyst is something like a guy who understands what is a BI concepts, what are data warehousing concepts. As per the organization situation or as per the organization requirement, he suggests the organization whether Hyperion will be suiting or whether Informatica will suit your organization, whether Cognos will suit your organization. He will be guiding on that. So now the phase one will be requirement gathering. In that, they will be identifying the data where you can get. Like what type of if the business analyst tells, okay, we have to go for Hyperion. Like Hyperion is the best suited for your organization structure. Then all that what we will be thinking is that from where we will be getting the data, like which are the GLs from where we have to pull the data, correct? So there will be some general ledgers where they will be maintaining the data. So we have to even identify those data from where we can get and what type of calculations are required. Okay. And what type of the reports are required, like how many types of static reports are required, what type of dynamic reports are required. So all these things, they will be maintained in phase one. Now coming to the phase two. Now here the work of a developer starts. In the phase one, we will be just gathering the requirements. I don't have a picture of that. This is only regarding that all the application, how to create the application. These screenshots belong to that. Like it's a very it doesn't have contain any pictorial type of thing. It's just a theoretical thing. Okay. Like there are actually there are 7 phases. You will be having this audio also recorded with you. So whenever you want, you can just go through that. Like there are totally 7 phases. Okay. Like phase one is something where you will be gathering all the requirements. You will be trying to understand from where the data is coming, from where we have to load the data, and how many types of reports that the company wants, what type of all the calculations that is needed to be run to get the correct data. All these things comes under requirement phrasing. Okay, and in that a senior Hyperion guy will be sitting with a business analyst, and he will be trying to make a design document. If the data is coming but it is not coming right, then in the back end the calculations that are running is not correct. They have to like look into the calculation script that they have written, and they have to like as per the requirement they have to change the calculations. If the data itself is not coming, then there will be some other issue. But as you are telling, data is coming but it is not correct, then there is an issue with the calculation script. There is nothing like, there is no other issues. Everything are working fine, perfectly. But the only issue will be with the calculation script. They have to do some modifications or changes in the script if they want to get the correct data. So that was the phase 1. Okay, and in the phase 2, now you will be creating the outline. Okay, like this is a console screen. Okay, this is an SBase screen where we will be working. Okay, if you see the view panel, this one, seeing the application, like it is an SBase server. Under SBase server you are having application, and in applications, these all are applications. Okay, and if you see that fin, this is an application. When you expand fin, you will be finding another symbol. This is a database. So in SBase servers you will be having all the applications, and in the application you will be having database. Okay, and here this is an outline. Okay. Here you will be like building the hierarchy. You will be creating all the members, you will be creating all the dimensions, you will be defining all the properties of the members. Everything will be done in the working pane. Okay. This is the view pane where you can view all the applications, all the databases, everything. And this is the working pane where you can like create all the members, create all the dimensions, define all the properties, everything. And this is the message pane. If you do some wrong, this will be seen only by the Hyperion developer guys who are having like admin access. The end users can see only the front end part. Like this again comes on the back end. It is something like front end or back end, but this can only be seen from the admin guys who are having the admin user rights. Only Hyperion guys, even super users, you can even tell super users can see this one. The users cannot see this. The users can see only the Excel sheet or the planning applications. They can see only the web forms. They can input the data over there, but they cannot see the database. This is the sort of database. Here again there are 3 types: view pane, working pane, and message pane, as I told you. In the view pane you can see all the SBase servers, all the applications, all the databases, and you can open the outline from there. And in the working pane you can see all the like dimensions, members, member properties of the outline. Okay. For whichever database you open, you can see all the details of that. And coming to the message pane, it will be showing you all the whenever you are logged in or whenever you are logged off. So this is the message pane, okay, where you can see all the details, like when the log off time, login time, like if you have done some like error, it will be even showing you the error, what is the error, everything will be coming into the message pane. Okay.
Okay, they can't. Okay, okay.
So everything will be like recorded over there, or you can even see if something shows no, it's not correct, then the message will be coming down. Why it is not correct? What is the issue?
So wait, the message will he tell you how to fix it?
With the message, yeah, we have to just go through the message and we can fix it.
Okay.
Like actually, this is the architecture. You can do one thing. You can just go through the class what I have told today, okay, and come up with like a lot of doubts, a lot of questions to me, okay,
Okay.
so that we can even have further more discussion on these things. If you are getting some doubt, there will be one function called as clear data. If you use that function clear data, then whatever bad data is there or whatever data which is not required by you, it will be getting cleared. It's a very simple script, CLEARDATA, clear data. You have to just mention the function name and you have to give all the members in which the bad data is sitting, all the member combinations, then it will get cleared. Today, like we were discussing about all the BI data warehousing concepts, and like what is Hyperion? It's a BI tool. All the ETL, OLAP, ERP, like these all comes under data warehousing. We have seen today like what is the difference between OLAP and OLTP. We have gone through the architecture of Hyperion,
Yeah,
like it's a three-tier architecture,
yeah.
analytical servers. Backend analytical servers. Yeah, we will just go through the life cycle tomorrow. All the 7 phases are there. We'll cover the 7 phases, and I'll just show you how we will be starting the console. What is the path for that? Okay. Thank you. Year and time and product and type. Okay.
Yes.
These 4 are the dimensions. Okay.
Okay.
Year, time, product and type. So when you start to create the outline, yeah, these all together will make a cube.
Okay.
Okay. So now when you start to create the outline, when you right click on the outline and create year, okay.
Yeah.
After that, create time. After that, create product. After that, create type.
Okay.
Okay, so you will be creating the 4 dimensions. Now under year, you will be having 2 members, correct?
Yes.
So right click on year and add child and create 2001. And again right click on 2001, select add sibling and create 2002. So year dimension is complete, correct?
Correct. Okay.
Now go to time, right click on time, then add child, create Q1, again add sibling, create Q2. Right click on Q2 and tell add sibling, create Q3. Right click on Q3, add sibling, create Q4. So time is also done, correct?
Okay.
In the same way, now create a product. Right click on product, create 1, 2, 3 childs. Again right click on type, create TV, DVD and PC. This is the easiest way for you. Got it?
Okay. Okay.
Now you do, let me see once, okay?
Wait, hold on. So for the type now. Okay. This is where my problem.
No. This we have, I've shown you, right? Once we create the attribute dimension, then it will be automatically coming. It will be taking it, right?
Okay, product is an attribute dimension.
Yeah, here we have created, right? This one.
Okay.
Type is an attribute dimension, correct?
Okay.
Okay, you first create only year, time and product, okay?
Okay.
And edit the members, okay?
Okay.
Give the properties for the members. Once you do that, then follow the steps after that from here. Like you first create all the standard dimensions, then give all the properties, member properties for them. Then see here, time and product, only these are there, correct?
Yes, yes.
Now here you create type, okay? Then go to the member properties of the type, then define it as an attribute, okay?
Okay.
Got it? For the
Yeah.
starting 3 dimensions, there is no need of going and defining as an attribute because those are standard dimensions.
Okay.
Type is an attribute dimension. That's why after creating the type dimension, go to the member properties, right click on it and go to dimension type and define it as an attribute. Okay.
Okay.
Then after that it will be attribute. Then you can define text as the attribute type. It will be asking you all these things. Press S. Then here you will be getting a type attribute. Okay.
Okay.
So in this way you can do that. Yeah, that will be the 4th dimension, but the 4th dimension, that will be the attribute dimension. You can create the dimension, then you can create the child, or you can create all the dimensions, then you can create the child. Whichever is comfortable for you, you can do that. In the year you have included 2001. Again, you have directly included that into Q1 into that. Q1 actually comes under another time, another dimension, correct?
Okay, yeah, Q1 goes on that time.
Like right click on product, add sibling, type, right, enter. Okay. Now right click on type.
That'll be DVD. Right?
Like enter. Okay. Okay. Click on here once. Not here. Like close that. Beside that. It's you have like no. Here on the ear on the left hand side of the ear. Yeah. Close it. Okay. Now right click on DVD.
Click sibling, right? Add sibling.
Correct. Add sibling.
TV. Or click on TV, right?
Hmm?
Add sibling. How come it went between?
No, you can click on TV. Right click on TV and tell add sibling.
Okay. Let's do VCD. Okay. So how do I do the attribute?
Okay, now you have done that, right? Now,
Yeah.
now right click on type, edit member properties. Now you can find the dimension type, right?
Okay, here, yeah.
Yeah, click on that. And you will be finding attribute.
Okay. Then what else?
1 minute.
Okay.
Okay, like after that attribute type is it correct? Click on none.
Yeah.
Yeah, select text. Yeah. Now click on OK. Yes. Click on yes. Okay, Henry, I'm just getting late for the office, okay? I'll do one thing.
Okay.
Tomorrow, like just call those people and tell them to send us the proper link so that we'll not waste our time.
Okay. All right.
Okay? Alright? Chalo.
All right. All right.
Okay, if you're having doubt, give me a call, okay?
All right. I'll do this.
Alright. Bye-bye.